Happy Halloween, everybody! Like with Psycho, I already reviewed this movie on my YouTube channel, AlexG8462, back in my college days, but I decided to talk about it again. Halloween focuses on little Michael Myers, who in 1963 kills his older sister on Halloween night. What was the reason he killed his sister for? There is none, but we'll get to that later. So, 15 years go by in October of 1978 when Michael Myers has been taken to a mental hospital to be treated by Dr. Sam Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance. But then he suddenly breaks out and is on his way back to Haddonfield to basically kill people, kill the babysitters, and Loomis goes to Haddonfield to either stop him or just kill him if necessary. Halloween is famous for being the key movie that launched the slasher genre. I mean, you had stuff like Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre come out beforehand, but it was with Halloween that, it really started to pick up. A lot of movies were copying it afterwards. Similar to how Paranormal Activity was the movie that started this whole found footage trend of today. Even though Blair Witch Project came out beforehand, Paranormal Activity was the one where everybody tried to copy it. Halloween is directed, written by, and had music made by John Carpenter. He made this movie very independently, very, very small budget. This was at the height of big movies like Jaws, The Exorcist, Godfather, and Star Wars. And similar to with Psycho, a small independent movie that turns out to be really good ends up becoming one of the most financially successful films of that year. Not the highest grossing or anything, but one of the most successful, given its low budget and huge intake. This is actually the horror movie that I've seen once about 7 years ago, and it's freaked me out the day I saw it. I saw it on a Halloween night, saw it, and that ending just really creeps me out. And that's the power that this movie has. It's able to do very little, but its scares are really large. Why does Michael Myers kill his sister? Why does he go back to Haddonfield 15 years later to kill babysitters? There's no reason. Any explanation that we have is that basically he's evil. He's the devil, evil incarnate. There's literally no reason, which makes it scarier. It's similar to how the Joker has no rhyme or reason to do anything in The Dark Knight. The less you know about a villain, his motivations, the scarier that person is. Michael Myers has worked his way into becoming one of the most well-known horror icons ever, along with Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Xenomorph, if you want to count that as a horror icon. And it's just one of the most recognizable characters in horror ever. The music was composed by John Carpenter, which, given that it was a lower budget, a lot of people just had to help out and do as much as possible, like John Carpenter did the music. Which, as far as my knowledge goes, he didn't put in music until after test screenings, where people thought it was terrible. So much like the shower scene in Psycho, John Carpenter put in music later on that just simple on the piano, and it suddenly turned into one of the most iconic horror scores ever. Maybe the most iconic, next to Jaws. Jaws, Psycho, and Halloween, their main themes are very simple, but will send chills down your spine. And I mentioned Psycho a lot here, but another reference to Psycho is that Donald Pleasance's character, Sam Loomis, was named after Marion Crane's boyfriend in Psycho. The boyfriend in Psycho is Sam Loomis. I don't remember the actor's name, but basically that's why Donald Pleasance's character's name is Sam Loomis, because John Carpenter took that name from Psycho. A little interesting fact there. The movie takes place in one night on Halloween, has a creepy atmosphere, has some mild kills, but then again, it's more, I don't want to say psychological horror because it's very straightforward, guy kills people, but it's definitely atmospheric, creepy, and it builds up a lot, and And at times when you're least expecting something to happen, something will come in, punch you in the face, and it'll take you by surprise. Halloween is one of the key horror movies that you kind of have to see if you haven't seen many horror movies, or if you're just getting into film in general. It's very well paced, it's tension filled. There are a few moments with the dialogue that's just bad, but it's got great performances by Donald Pleasance and then newcomer Jamie Lee Curtis. This was her first feature film, and I've done this a lot in this review, but going back to Psycho, she's actually the daughter of Janet Leigh, who played Marion Crane in Psycho. So that's a nice way to kind of bring my, I guess, trilogy of horror reviews this year full circle. So there's not much I can say about Halloween. Hardcore horror fans will tell you that you kind of have to see this movie because it's one that not just horror fans can enjoy, but lots of people can. And it has a very creepy ending that honestly kept me up for 72 hours after seeing it. I'm not making that up. That's how... I was 16 at the time, which... I haven't seen a lot of horror movies back in the day when I was 16, but that one just creeped the fuck out of me to where I could not go to sleep for 3 days. But basically, in the end, get off your ass and go see this movie right now. As for the Rob Zombie remake that came out, I like how it tries to do something different from all the other horror remakes that were coming out at the time, but what it does different, which is try to explain why Michael Myers is evil, kind of is a backhanded compliment because it ruins the mystery of him. But it's got some cool kills there. It's definitely ruthless. But something I would say, go watch the original instead. Because that one, it's one you should just watch at your own risk. Just the 1978 John Carpenter version's the best. And that's the one you should stick with if you're only allowed to see one. So that's my review of the original John Carpenter Halloween. But that's not the last Halloween video I'll be putting up. Tune in an hour from now to listen to episode 6 of Rooftop Chats, where me and Cassie recorded our special Halloween episode. And tune in sometime next week for some videos from Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. I'll be there and kind of blog my experiences there. But until then, leave a comment, tell me what you thought of Halloween, subscribe to my channel for more stuff in the future. You can check out my video blog channel, AlexG8462. You can find links to my Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram accounts on this YouTube page. Go check me out at letterboxd.com under the name Mr. Robinson, as well as my written reviews on Geeked Out Nation. Share with your friends and tell them about me. This is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Happy Halloween. I'll see you guys later.